7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's start right out. Hey, what happened?
There we go. Here we go. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. This is a big day today. It's a big day. We got a couple big announcements. We got some new guests. We got new friends to introduce you to. We got Bonzi back. Clean head. Skullet's gone.
Bonzi.
Looks fucking unbelievable.
Feeling fresh.
Locks here. Yeah, very fresh. Douche fresh. Sal the douche fresh. Yeah, it does. Anyway, welcome to the program. My name is Dean, brought to you by our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports and his luxurious underwear called Gitch. Now you can get them from Ed. You can order from Ed. Go to edsfineimports.com. Gitch3 is your promo code. They're luxurious underwear that put a banana hammock right there for your nuts and your junk. Also want to thank our sponsors and friends over at Easy Auto Financial, easyautofinancial.ca. It's where you go to get financing and a car all in one shop. And one stop, super easy to do. You want to buy a car and you want to not dick around, go to easyautofinancial.ca. Also, hi to our friends at Domination. It's artificial intelligence for people that do content. We use them all the time. You should too. Go to dmntn.com today to check them out. And Blue Microphones, official partner of deanblundell.com. Without further ado, please welcome to the program, Lachlan Cross. Bonzi's here every single Wednesday. And two new contributors, a couple of guys that I've had a few conversations with. They're both just as fucked as we are. Please welcome from Zen as Fuck TV, zenaf.tv, the podcast and the website and the cartoons. Alex Skuby and Wayne Hanna, ladies and gentlemen. Wayne Hanna, Alex Skuby, Wayne Hanna. Let's give them a round of applause. Nice to see you.
Oh, thanks for having us, man.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. You know, that intro got my fucking
God.
rocks up, man. Like,
how do we get that intro
guitar and all that stuff? And then you just spit out these advertisements like you're a pro or something. It's crazy.
Alex, hang on a second though. Did you hear the countdown? 9, 8.
Oh my God, I was about to launch, dude.
I need that to be a part of us. And if it's not a part of us, then I'm out.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore.
Because that was sexy.
You know, it's one of those
the
things.
First time we've ever gotten a compliment on the intro. Usually it's
fun
just,
of it. Yeah,
James
people just
hates
start
it.
laughing.
It's like generic 80s rock music or something.
I fucking dig it, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to Value Village after this and getting a pinhole football jersey that says Maui 87. Holy shit. You thought that I was turned on before. That was the greatest intro of all time. If Oprah would have had that fucking intro, I would have watched her show growing up.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Big Brother doesn't have that fucking intro, and you watch that slag.
Is that true? Is that true, Hannah?
Yeah.
Is that true, Wayne? Do you watch Big Brother?
Oh,
in fact,
gross.
you know what?
I don't even like talking about it. I don't want to hear
Dean
this.
and folks.
Yeah.
I don't watch sports. I don't watch
Holy
sports on
fuck. It's like, no, I don't watch fucking sports.
Mm-hmm.
You don't watch sports at all?
Not even baseball?
You don't watch baseball? You don't watch hockey? You don't watch football?
That's it. None of it.
Nothing? Like if you've got a choice on a Sunday and you've TiVo'd or PVR'd Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or Big Brother, and the Bills are playing against the Chiefs, you won't watch the Bills-Chiefs game?
That was a good
game. I'll watch season 2 of 90 Day Fiance all day long.
You're a different cat than me, fella.
Terrible. So many violent thoughts towards you right now.
I am a Renaissance man.
I don't hate that.
Here we go. The fucking Renaissance man. He started this shit today, man. We did a podcast today, and he started with this. He wants to be labeled as the Renaissance man.
Anybody who wears an outfit that matches his couch needs a title, though, right? Like, I mean,
that's true. That's funny.
If you coordinate your outfit with your couch,
Wayne, they're crunching on you, dude.
That is a Renaissance man. Like, I mean, look at that.
He's just giving me more for my resume.
You know what's incredible is that I've had like, I don't know, 2 or 3 phone calls, like face-to-face Zoom calls with these guys, and we'll get to know them and their background in a little minute. Fucking lights out, nice people, funny guys, both accomplished in their own fields, which we'll get to in a second. But the thing that it was most disconcerting to me is every time we've been on the show, Wayne has been in a different jumpsuit that belongs to a 90-year-old. really,
what he
really
does.
wealthy 90-year-old.
Strong move.
He
Yeah.
just started this. He just started this like
Did he
3
seriously?
weeks ago.
That's
Yes,
not a
and all
jumpsuit.
of a
That's a
sudden,
snuggly.
all
Yeah.
of a sudden he was
an
like, "I want to
Adidas
be in a.
original
I want to be in a
velour tracksuit.
tracksuit." That's what it is. It's a tracksuit, and it's velour, by the way.
Is it a track suit though? Because you're not going to the track in that.
Wayne,
it looks
stand
like
up.
you're going to.
I
Looks
might be
like-
going.
looks
To,
like
I
you're-
might be. I might
No.
be going to. I might be going to squash after this. I might have a
Let's-
couple
let's
rounds of
see.
squash at the
It's not a squash
YMCA.
tracksuit either. It's a velour
It is.
tracksuit. It's
No,
the
but
it's
the
the
squash on-
tracksuit that says I'm going to show one of my ladies the back of my hand. That's what I see.
Very
when I look
pimp,
at you.
very like mafia, like mafia.
I would
like
be.
pimp.
I would be the worst pimp on the planet. I would be a horrible pimp if like there was like pimp standing. Oh wait, I get like I'd be a horrible pimp. But thank you all for these wonderful compliments. As a Renaissance man, this just makes me feel better about myself.
But
We'll give
what
it
is
to you.
what is with the outfits? Like what is with the tracksuits? I
Tell
love
him,
them.
Tell him when you started it,
Yeah.
Wayne. Like you just started. It's
and
a
why?
time. Comfort. It's comfort.
Well, no. So okay. So I was binge watching a show on the Netflix called Black AF, and the guy in this show always wore these cool ass tracksuits. That's all he ever wore. And I was like, why don't I just do that? Because we kind of look alike, but not. So I grabbed a couple tracksuits and then I grabbed some more. And now I have a problem.
Where does one purchase such suit?
Amazon.
This is a no. These are all of my stuff is from the Adidas Originals. And there's only one store in Toronto on King West, but this
They
is
look
all Adidas
pre-worn.
Originals.
Like that looks like something you buy at the army. No?
Kinda
Army
does,
Navy?
yeah.
Are you talking Army Navy?
Who Hefner would wear it?
Yeah.
I like that we
does have
spent the
a-
first 10 minutes of this on me and my tracksuits.
Yeah, he does. By the way, he
You know
loves
what?
this, dudes. He loves it.
Wayne, can I make
No.
a suggestion? Because the
Narcissist.
tracksuit's a strong move, and I'm not. And again, like I said, what else would you expect a Renaissance man to be wearing?
Right.
And the other thing I think
point.
you need to look into is the full-on leisure suit, though. Like,
Oh,
is that
that's
a
a
one?
whole nother thing, man.
Is that a one piece?
Not yet.
Okay, well, I think the leisure suit might be your
Not
next
yet.
step.
With a neckerchief like
Yeah.
like fur.
You remember those? Those were called dickies back in the day. The neckerchief. They were called dickies. Where you
Dickies.
put this little thing underneath. It was like, I want to look rich, but I don't have enough money for a rich turtleneck.
Wait a
so I'll
second.
just
Someone,
get the-
someone just
I'll get the
commented.
dickie.
Someone just commented, "Hey, save some pussy for the rest of us." You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
I love it.
That's good stuff.
I
That's
don't
good
even
stuff,
I don't
man.
even like cats. I don't even like cats.
Okay. All right.
And then Emily says J-Lo used to make some good velour tracksuits. Is that a
That-
J-Lo tracksuit that you're wearing? Or,
but you know
or-
what? The J-Lo tracksuits are coming back. Listen, you'll see this come around full circle soon.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll watch
can't
for it.
fucking wait. I can't wait.
I'll keep my eye out for it.
I'm-
Anyway, nice to have you.
I'm gonna go
Even though you're
change.
wearing that. And sorry, I don't. I'll get off the tracksuit in a minute, but I do have a
doubt
question.
we will. I doubt
Well, because
we will. Wayne.
Scooby was saying, like 2 seconds ago, he's like, literally, the tracksuit fetish just started, and
Yeah.
you're 41, right? Like, so this was like a conscious decision you make to dress like a pimp. Like, it's. And you're
The best part
41-year-old
about it, the
father.
best part about him doing
love
this
it.
was that when he announced he was going to do it, he
Yeah.
was cocky as fuck about it, which I was impressed. I mean, he
Alex-
was full on cocky about it.
Alex,
I loved it.
You bought a leopard tracksuit and you're waiting for it to show up.
It hasn't come here yet.
Yeah, but you still ordered one, so don't get
I
on
know.
me.
No,
And
hey,
the
look, I
best-
can't wait
the
to
best
wear it.
part, The best part of this tracksuit thing, I would just like to let everybody know, is that there's nothing good about it.
No, is everything good about it? Everything's good about it, Wayne.
You want to know what the best part of the tracksuit is? Is I don't play sports. I'm shitty at sports, and I know nothing about sports. And this is sporty as fuck.
I like
is.
that.
I'm
It's
going as
thumbing
Wayne
your
for
nose.
Halloween.
That's right. That's right. Do that.
I am damn
That's
fucking right.
good.
You should. I would too. Listen, we make fun. We have fun. My first meeting with you, you're wearing a black solid gold hat and literally a lime green Adidas tracksuit. Lime green. And I'm like, guy's a fucking trip. And I got off the phone and I was talking to a buddy of mine. I'm like, I think we're gonna bring these guys on. They're fucking hilarious. They're both accomplished in their field. One guy's got 200,000 followers on TikTok, and he does these really cool motivational videos. And the other guy's like super cool actor. He was in King of Queens. He's super fucking funny. They're really motivated. And then he's like, oh, that sounds great. I go, but the one guy was wearing a fucking lime green tracksuit the whole fucking time. And then the next time, like, they said, hey, how's tracksuit guy? I'm like, he's wearing a fucking velour tracksuit today.
You guys haven't seen him in his tiger print. Not tiger print, not the print of tigers, but actual tiger heads all over it.
Yeah. I think we have it, actually. I think we have it. I've got a video of something you guys put out. Alex Skuby, Wayne Hanna, Zen as Fuck TV, ZenAF.tv is where you can find these guys. Also, DeanBlundell.com. But this is like a little cartoon that you riffed from your podcast, from one of the couple of conversations. But in it, you get a chance to see said lion tracksuit. It is absolutely brilliant.
When a grizzly bear is attacking me, I'm going to scream.
No, I'd have to be dead.
I'm going to have the most highest pitched scream in the world, and then I'm going to shit myself. Those are the two things. Those are the two things. And you can, and in situations like that, you can shit yourself
immediately.
Like that.
Dude, I would shit my dress like that.
Boom. You would be a great married couple.
I knew you were going to say that.
And then
I knew you were
and
going to
then
say
she
that.
goes, she just looks at me and she kind of shrugs her shoulders. She's like, give it a shot. I said, I can't. And she goes, why not? I said, because
he's got balls.
That is off the charts.
Isn't that? Did you see the fucking
I
video?
love
Like,
it.
look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this tracksuit he's got.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. That's
God,
fucking
good for
brilliant.
you.
Winning.
Oh,
Camouflage
man,
for the
beautiful.
zoo.
I
Camouflage
am
for the
so
zoo.
fucking talented. I am so
Well, okay. Let's see what you guys just did. I'm gonna hear about this for fucking days, man. He's gonna send me videos on Instagram, just being like, "Did you hear what they said? Did you hear?
Yeah.
They love me. They love my." Yeah.
I made a techno song with Dean's voice. Tracksuit. Yeah, it's gonna be wonderful.
Guys, I'm glad you're here. We're stoked to have you guys aboard. And I was trying to get to know you a little bit over the past couple of days, and we've had some decent conversations. But you may have seen Alex. He was in King of Queens for like ever. And I think you were on this show called The Fosters. You've been in CSI Miami, Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore. A very accomplished actor, and he's also married to Sarah Rabinowitz from Fear of the Walking Dead. It's like an acting family. Like these guys are a big deal. And he's also just as fucked as us. So imagine my surprise to learn that a big time actor is like, hey, I love the game. Can I get into it? And we're like, yeah. But like, is this something that how did you guys hook up? And Wayne, of course, 200,000 followers on TikTok, and he's got this little TikTok brand called Good Morning Assholes, which we'll get to in a second. But how did you guys hook up with Zen as Fuck, and where did you guys meet? Because you're in Texas, Scoob, and Wayne is in the GTA.
Okay, someone asked a question. I just want to answer it. What character on King of Queens? I was Mr. Pruzan. So Doug Pruzan, Leah's Carrie's boss. Yeah, boss at the law firm. Okay, so how we hooked up. So about almost 5 months ago, I joined TikTok begrudgingly, right? Like I didn't want to join it. My son was doing it. I was like, oh, that looks fun. Went on there. I put some fucking video out that was just, I didn't even I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. And for some reason, it got like 1.2 million views, which I think somehow caught Wayne's eye with his Good Morning Asshole stuff. And then we just started communicating. I think that's how it went down. And then next thing you know, we're kind of we just hit it off. And he mentioned doing a podcast, and I had already put out merch with Zen as Fuck on it. And then we had a podcast for a minute called The More You Know with Alex Skuby and Wayne Hanna. But recently, like 3 weeks ago, we decided to rebrand and go with Zen as Fuck because it's just more us. That's my story. Yeah.
What is it? What is Zen as Fuck, and what is more us? Like, what does it mean? I love it, by the way, and I think it's cool. But what is it?
Well, it's just mindfulness, right? It's if you listen to our podcast, we get into conversations about, well, everything, from too much McDonald's to ass play. So we're very
there is a connection there, I think. I mean, we
Well,
can explore about
we can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
just let me get through this pitch.
Sorry, go ahead, yeah.
So it's basically just mindfulness, and it's two guys who are very in touch with their kind of, I guess we call it feminine side. I don't know, but we're sensitive dudes talking about stuff, coming from a real place, being completely honest, regardless of the the situation or the context or whatever. And we just have a lot of fun with it, and zen as fuck. I mean, that came about for me because I started meditating like 6 months ago, got really into it, and that's when I came out with that logo. But he is in the same, went through something in his life, and mindfulness, just that kind of
we're just two honestly, we're two approaching middle-aged men, and we're watching these people go through this world trying to find their place. They've gone through this shit show that we've been going through for the last 18 months has forced a lot of people to look on the inside first, and everybody, it's not just the 20 something year olds that are going to yoga retreats anymore. It's grown ass men that are trying to find a vulnerable place on this earth so they can just fucking smile and thrive a little bit. And we both believe that, at the end of the day, we're dead, and we're trying to live our best zen as fuck life we can figure out, and we're screwing up in the process, but it's beautiful and it's profound. And it's just been like, even you said, Dean, you talked about, you get this accomplished actor who's got a extremely accomplished actor as a wife that you watched growing up. Well, imagine I'm the same, man. I watched King of Queens religiously, and then now I'm best friends with Doug Prezan, and I watched you can buy his wife's costume at a Halloween store because she played Lorraine from Mad TV and Stewart's mom, and they're my friends. Like, we talk and we share, we're gonna spend time together. Like, it's this whole thing is just been just insane. And it's all because I just gave up the bullshit and I said, I'm going to be zen and I'm going to live a mindful life. Now, listen, I still screw up everything else, but like, my friendship game is pretty good now.
Good for you.
Yeah, solid.
But it's funny because we have these conversations here, and that part of what you guys do in your podcast, I realize that you're actually responsible, serious individuals who love to have a fucking good time. But in your podcast, you have a chance to put the toys away, right? In your podcast, you have a chance to go, hey, listen, here's me, here's who I am, here's what I struggle with. And we do that here on the daily. If it's not like yesterday, we had a podcast where, we talked about Thanksgiving and how we all fucking kind of, had different Thanksgivings, and my single Thanksgiving was great. And then all of a sudden, Lachlan starts pouring his heart out. He's like, I got a lot of resentment against my parents. And then we had a good laugh at him. And then James gets on the thing. He's like, yeah, my mom one day told me I was the reason she was leaving my dad when I was 14. And we had a great laugh about that as well.
He's always got to one-up me.
But I've been amazed by that portion of this, two things, and you mentioned, and both of them amaze me on a daily basis, is that, when guys get a chance to put the bullshit down and say, hey, here's what I'm fucking dealing with on a daily basis, and they realize, number one, they're normal, and then number two, they've got someone to look to for advice. But then I also find that it does more for me to talk about these things that people go through than it probably does for anybody else, because it's always this healthy reminder of the life that we have to live, right? The person that we are, and the things that we've gone through. Everybody's got a different rock bottom. So it's fucking fascinating to see two guys like you, which is why I was drawn to what you were doing after we got introduced, and I went through your stuff, and I was like, these guys actually take life pretty fucking seriously, and they want to be a part of the greater good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. We were talking today. We recorded episode 10 today, and it comes out on Tuesday. But we got in this conversation about life and death and how quick life is and stuff. And I was reminded of this thing where, and I'm sure everyone here has heard it, where it's no one gets out of life alive. Doesn't matter what your fucking bank account says. It doesn't matter where you live or what family you're from or who the fuck you think you are. We all just fade away one day, you know? So that's eye-opening. And also the fact that, you know, until you can come to terms with the fact that you will die one day, and just not just like, oh yeah, I'm going to die one day, but really like know it, then you can start appreciating your life for what it is, and how days are, you know, kind of a gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
And so
what
so
you're
is tequila.
talking about
Tequila's a gift. Tequila's a gift.
But what you're talking about is something I talk about all the time, is memento mori, right? Like, we all fucking die. And if you can truly understand that, if you kind of get that perspective that, you know, that death at the end of your life is that black dot, the first dot is the beginning of your life. In the middle, you get a chance to be happy. And trying to find ways to be happy is cool, but talking about other people and talking to other people about the things that you've gone through and where you were at, it's just as beneficial to the people who are listening, right? And when you talk about death, traditionally people get a little fucking antsy, right? You go, oh, is it a death? No, I'm actually looking forward. I'm not looking forward to the process of dying, but in my understanding of, and I'm a practicing Stoic, so like this is like one of the things we meditate on a daily basis. It's the understanding that it's all going to fucking end. There's an immutable fact that every single person on this planet has to deal with, and that's it. That's the only one. And when you can do that, life isn't so scary, but it's really hard to fucking tell that to someone who's like, wait a second, you meditate on death? Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
At the end of the day, man, we are a speech behind a podium. And I always say that I'm going to make sure that whoever's got to read the speech, that I help them write a good one. And it's going to probably read, I knew Wayne Hanna for this many years, and he was one of the most fucked up but raddest human beings I've ever met, you know. And that's just kind of how I've always wanted to live my life. I wanted to try things regardless of the result, and sometimes they work, sometimes they didn't, but I wouldn't change it. And stuff like this, like even moments like this where I'm having these really cool, funny conversations with my buddy in the US, but every time we talk, we learn something about how to be more mindful but at the same time, you know, still not lose your creative side or your funny side. Everybody thinks that if you're mindful, you got to be like serious all the time and blah, blah. No, man, you just got to live your best fucking life and put one foot forward and accept your mistakes for, you know, humbling moments in your life. There, I'm done.
Yeah, I like that. We all have them, right? I mean, everybody has those moments. And you said something in your Good Morning Assholes. I'll just play this, actually. This, I think, was your latest one. Loved it. And you guys touch on a lot of things that make people healthy, right? And this is one of them, is that you're your biggest fucking fan right now, and you should be.
Morning, assholes. We all deserve somebody in our lives that won't give up on us. We all deserve somebody in our lives that we don't have to argue with every day, or pick a fight with when things don't go the way they were planned. And we deserve somebody who is going to love us unconditionally no matter the things that we do, because we're human, and as humans we make errors. But we have that person in our lives, and it's us. Love yourself unconditionally, respect yourself thoroughly, and believe in yourself, because you are unstoppable. I love you all in a weird and platonic way.
Jeez, when you play it like that.
I watched that, and all I thought was, what a pussy.
Yeah, and how fucking high was he? How fucking high was he?
I just watched that, and I was like, what fucking show did I just watch before I posted? You know what? The funny thing is,
Big Brother.
I'll get these messages and these beautiful comments from people.
That was nice.
And you know, like I know, you know, like I'm trying to hold myself accountable for the advice. Stop fucking laughing. No, I'm just kidding. But at the end of the day, I was saying it last night to a friend of mine. I'm like, that's my poetry. This is my poetry. What I'm doing is, you know, when I'm saying things, it doesn't mean I'm, you know, I'm writing poetry, and that's how I deliver it. And I think it's honestly therapeutic, and it's wicked.
Yeah,
and,
it's awesome.
I will sign all of
the
your
thing
Kind
is
of cool
that-
that you found your thing too, right? Like, I mean, if this is what gets you through, I mean, I think the other side of this, which is interesting, and literally, I don't know you guys from a fucking hole in the ground. I jumped on 25 minutes ago,
That's
and
nice,
we
boys.
went live.
That's a welcoming conversation.
Wow.
I don't know you.
hold on,
Very
guys,
nice to meet you
Yeah.
too. It's
Hold
very
on.
nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Appreciate your time.
We don't know you
I-
either, man. Keep going.
The fact,
Nice fucking
The fact
ceiling
that
light,
you're-
you prick.
the fact that you're able to make fun of yourselves, I think, needs to be said out loud. I mean, I'm picking up on the message. I completely ignore all of Dean's stoicism shit, but I do pay attention to it. I fucking ignore it, but I love that he's got his thing, which is great. Apparently, he needs it. I think that's important, man. I run into way too many people nowadays that take themselves way too fucking serious, and you can tell. You can be in a room with them for 30 seconds, and it's like, all right, you and I probably aren't going to be able to. You're not going to be able to make fun of my ceiling fan, and I'm not going to be able to make fun of the fact that you're wearing a suit that matches your couch. So let's just move on, right?
No,
you
look,
talking
man,
about
you have to
James?
laugh at yourself. You have to. That's how.
Oh, fucking right.
Look, the biggest fucking thing, even in relationships, like husband and wife, or whatever the fuck relationship you're in, if you're not laughing, at least daily, your fucking relationship sucks. End of story.
Yeah.
It's just true.
I'm in a thriving relationship.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. Yeah, Wayne, you should try it. Oh, wait, you did like 55 times and none of it worked out. Why? You know why, Wayne?
Why, Alex?
I'm not going to say it on here. I'm going to save it for episode 11
Because
of
I'm
ZenAsFuck.tv.
because I'm a fucking Renaissance man with emotional problems.
Here we go.
That's
First it was the
why.
track suits. Now it's you're a Renaissance man. Like, where does it end?
It doesn't end.
It doesn't.
It's just begun. It's only just begun.
So, like, do you guys like? No offense to you, Wayne, but like, I would bet you that Alex Skuby, with the IMDb that he's got, he's kind of the big draw here, right, for the podcast.
I don't know, man. No, I mean, he's got his fucking. It's the TikTok stuff, man. It's all social media, man.
It's huge.
I
Dude,
mean, that's
he's
what it
huge
is
on TikTok. Look at his TikTok followers. 204,000 TikTok followers.
Yeah.
1.9
Renaissance man. Renaissance
man, and right under that merch, you can buy some fucking tracksuits from him. That's what we should get into, the business of tracksuits.
Yeah, man. It's all about social media nowadays. I mean, that's what it is. It's not about talent anymore.
And listen,
It's
I
not.
don't.
God,
Oh,
it's
you
not.
are a son of a.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general.
Why don't you show one of Alex?
when you have
why don't
Paris
you show
Hilton starting a
Alex's
fucking
most recent
revolution,
video? You should show Alex, and this is why I fell in love with you. Right? I love you.
Oh, you should play the one that got 1.2 million views.
No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't.
Oh,
you shouldn't play because your shit. All your other stuff is so freaking funny because his delivery.
It's ridiculous.
It is so good. It is so good.
Yeah, dude, you guys are great. I mean, it's fun to watch, fun to listen to you. It's fun to, and you guys do this in your podcast too. And Locke made mention of it. You don't take yourselves too seriously.
No.
But because I was on the phone with Wayne prior to you getting on, Alex, and we were talking. He and I are both in the same kind of relationship with ourselves, and he was making fun of you before you got on. He's like, Alex is in love. Alex likes his wife. Alex is so happy. Alex is just, and he and
I'll
I were
probably be with her forever.
I tell you, man, laughter is key, man. It just is.
Do you and the wife laugh? By the way, his wife is Mo Collins, formerly known as, or currently known as Sarah Rabinowitz from Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
She's been in Parks and Rec and stuff, and you guys are fucking
TV,
great.
yeah.
Like, it's such a nice couple. Look at this picture of you two. You had a nice couple at some kind of Hollywood thing.
Yeah, we have fun. Yeah, that's
probably
right.
had shrimp cocktail there and stuff.
Oh yeah, like foreplay, escargot and
Carb
Probably
free
had it
because
all.
he's
Champagne
keto.
flowing.
yeah,
Champagne, yeah.
No, but it's all about laughter, man. That's the fucking truth. It's like if you and your other half are just constantly like what are you gonna do today? I don't know. What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna go over here with my friends. Well, I'm gonna go do this, and you just have this fucking like weird kind of non-communicative relationship, which also most of the time transfers to the bedroom. You're fucked. But if you can look at each other and laugh, even when things aren't great, then you stand a chance of survival. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where did you guys meet? Like, here's a question I have. Where do Hollywood elites like you meet people?
I'm like G-list. I'm like a G-lister. But I'll tell you. So, it's funny. Her and I know the same people even before we met. The weirdest thing was I had just gotten out of my first marriage, and she was out of her first marriage for quite a bit. And a friend of mine at a bar, I was getting a little tanked, and friends like, you got to try nerve.com. I'm like, what the fuck is nerve.com? He's like, it's this dating website, and you just go on it. And I'm like, it sounds like a porn site. He's like, well, half of it is, but the other half is legit. And I'm like, okay.
That's all of them, isn't it?
I'm not, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do that. So I get tanked. I go home, and I'm like, it's nerve.com. You know what I mean? And then I put up a picture of me wearing like a space helmet. The next morning, I wake up and I'm like, did I really sign up for that? And I go on, and there's a little wink. And I'm like, who the fuck winked at me? And I see this woman named Mo Collins. Now, I never watched Mad TV. I didn't know that show. And so next thing I know, I'm winking back at her, and I'm like, oh, she sounds fun and funny and, whatever. And we finally had a date at Cat and the Fiddle on Sunset Boulevard, which is no longer there. And when we met, immediately, I'm telling you, man, as soon as she sat down at the table, we started laughing, just looking at each other, laughing, going, what the fuck is happening? Like, I can't believe we're doing this. Then we come to find out, like, we know the same people. Like, Nicole Sullivan, I dated her on an episode of The King of Queens. Nicole Sullivan was on Mad TV with my wife for years. And then, just ins and out. Eric Stone Street from the Family show. I can't remember the
Modern
name of it.
Family.
Modern Family. I've known Eric. Eric and I, we've known each other since Chicago, doing theater in Chicago like 5 decades ago. And like she knew him through, her cousin, Jerry Collins. Her cousin was a writer for SNL for years, who happened to be roommates with Will Ferrell because they were best friends. And then it's just all kind of like, and we were like, how did we not meet before? But we couldn't have because we were both still married. So I don't know. Life has a way of working itself out,
Yeah, is it ever? So you did meet your wife on a Hollywood elite dating site. That was the whole point. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I just gave you the big story.
Yeah, I love the big story. Which is my next question is for Wayne. How are you on Tinder? Are you on The Verge? As a single man, is it something that you would like to do? He's
on Grindr.
Kind of life.
I could see being successful on Grindr, Wayne.
I do too. Yeah.
Well, with
put a picture up on
tuxedos like that, you'll be slaying the old fellas.
Wayne, just tell them the truth. You're not on Grindr. I just said that. Now I feel bad.
Wayne looks like he'd be a huge hit at a lemon party. He really does.
Oh my God, lemon party, dude! I saw a video on that years ago, and I was like, "What the fuck am I watching right now?"
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is.
Do you not know what a lemon party is?
No.
Oh my God, tell him.
It's an old man orgy.
Old men literally get together nude and they just start kissing and dunking and bobbing and twizzling
and weaving, twizzling.
Okay. Block, aren't you glad we didn't know what the hell a lemon party was?
Well, I'll be honest. Yes.
Me too. Me too. So I thought I was missing out on something.
Yeah. Wayne, lemon parties aside,
I unfortunately know what blue waffle is. Don't Google that.
And so does everybody else. It's vomit stuff. But Wayne, how are you meeting ladies? Or are you like me, where you're like, I can't internet date? That's impossible.
Well, thanks for the question, Dean.
You're welcome.
I love how with Alex, it was like, oh, tell us how you met your beautiful wife. Oh, we had this and Will Ferrell and all this stuff. And you're like, that's such a beautiful story. Hey, Wayne, how's Grindr? Do you like lemon parties, big old man orgies? Tell us about your dating life, you sad fuck of a human being. So I'm divorced. And I've failed at every relationship since then. But things are looking up.
Sounds like we're brothers.
Because I am the Good Morning Assholes guy now.
Yeah,
so yeah, I should be tanked, finding the love of my life in no time.
Yeah. You know what though? there's a life out there, and I'll not that Alex isn't adorably happy. I think it's terrific, but there's a life out there, and I was explaining it to Lachlan, where there's, if you're in your 40s, there's this unspoken like culture between like men and women who've been divorced and aren't interested in a long-term relationship, where they're like, you have a need, I have a need. Yep. To me, it's like a genital handshake that you need once in a while. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then you don't have to do, after the genital handshake, there's no, so where are we going for dinner? I'm thinking Chipotle. I don't like
Sometimes
Chipotle.
the handshake stays for like 7 to 11 days if you didn't do your homework first. But
that's true. That is true, Wayne, isn't it?
But if you do your homework, yes, no, there is that understanding. There's the you know what, a muse is a real thing. And I've been down that road. At the end of the day, I'm looking to one day sort my shit out so I thrive in a relationship. But the online dating thing, it's gotten old real quick. But yeah, I'm still on it. Yay me.
That's good, man. I mean, it's just it's an option. It's there for you if you need it, right? Like that's kind of what internet dating is. It's like, to me, it's like an emergency ration.
It's kind of funny, you guys. I'll tell you this, like, I didn't want to be in another relationship, man. I didn't want it after my first marriage had gone south and all this stuff. And I didn't plan on it. It was like, I had dated, and then all of a sudden this person sits down in front of me and we start laughing. And I was like, oh shit. Oh, here we go. Here we go. No, seriously, that's the truth, man.
And you know what? Like it's been a pivotal moment in yours and Mo's relationship, because you're now officially both empty nesters. So now you're on to like a whole nother part of like, it's a whole, not that you guys left the honeymoon phase because you rub it in all the time. Oh, Wayne, you're gonna have to stay in an Airbnb when you come to Texas because we like to do it all day long and make love, and we love to like blah 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 because we're so perfect and we have matching boots.
Okay, move on. What were you about to say that was actually nice?
But what I was trying to say,
fucking prick.
No, I want Wayne to finish that thought out.
On the
you motherfucker.
You got matching boots with your new wife?
Not well. They've been together
like wife. We've been together 12 years.
12 years. Yeah.
Locke wants to know where he can get a matching pair.
No, they're not boots.
I'll
they're
send
Crocs.
you a pic.
They're into the Crocs. They love.
Are they really?
Crocs. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't.
Off-road
but
Crocs.
then, 2 days ago, a package came in the mail, and my wife goes, "Oh, look what I got!" Because she wears Crocs, and I always make fun of her. And then the next thing I know, she's opening a box, and she hands me these Crocs, and they're off-road Crocs.
Portraits.
And I was disgusted at first,
You
literally disgusted. And then I put them on, and I went,
Yeah.
"Oh, I get it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't help in the with your trailer park reputation, but once you slide those bad boys on, you're like,
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? I am wearing a designer tracksuit worth a good amount of money, and you guys are all like, loser. Oh, and then we bring up Crocs. You're like, yep, I know exactly what you mean, Alex Skuby. Whatever you wear turns to gold. I just want to remind you all that he is talking in his closet right now. They're idolizing you, Alex. They're Ooh,
and you're
Alex
fucking jealous because
so
you're a narcissistic cunt. Listen to me. Our producer, Tyler Boyko, has just said, what the fuck? This is the guy who produces our podcast.
Yeah. What are off-road Crocs?
Well, I'll tell you, Tyler, they are thicker than the other ones, and they're more tread, and they're fucking handsome AF.
Take your fucking word for it.
I've
never had a pair in my life.
I have a pair of Crocs the dog got to because he got a puppy. Yeah. I still wear them. He's choosing to shit. Yeah.
Wow.
No, don't care.
Yeah, dude.
Amazing.
They're so comfortable.
If you haven't put Crocs on and you're making fun of them, you don't like Crocs. You don't like being
comfortable.
I feel the same way about your fucking velour tracksuit, by the way, Wayne. I really, it looks comfortable. You look insane, but you look comfortable, right?
I feel like I'm wrapped in like a butterfly nest.
It's like,
and the butterflies are like straight pimping.
It's like hugs you never got from your dad.
We're going deep today. This is
the digs between these two.
I was actually talking about myself because
Alex, it's like the hugs you got from your babysitter.
Wow. Did you guys know that Wayne is adopted? Has he not told you that yet? His real parents fucking hated him and shipped him the fuck out to some boarding school.
Alex's babysitter made him give him a handy.
Well, we'll talk about that. It wasn't a handy, by the way. It was another part of my body.
Oh my God.
It was the bung piece.
But we can laugh about that now.
Wow. You had a babysitter that ate your ass?
That was Wayne.
Oh.
What was me?
Someone
Your
just wrote,
babysitter.
must sweat Luke crazy in velour. I have no idea.
I do not.
I think she means like must sweat like crazy in
no,
velour.
No, I've got my air conditioning cranked just so I can wear this.
Dude, your velour tracksuit.
Hey, I'm
Wayne
not wearing.
Says I was finally
I
able
am
to
wearing
sit
a
down.
shirt underneath it. I wasn't even sure. It's always it's always the gamble.
Dude, I'm just happy to have you here. Happy to have the Zen as Fuck podcast, part of the DeanBlundell.com network. Follow these guys, and you can follow Alex Skuby on Twitter, at Alex Skuby on Twitter, and Zen as Fuck. What's the Twitter handle for Zen as Fuck?
It's at Zen as F_UK. So I couldn't put fuck. So it's, fuck has a, instead of a U, it's an underscore.
How come we're not allowed to put fuck in a Twitter handle?
I have no idea.
On Twitter all the time. I
Wouldn't
saw
let me
like
do it.
4 million fucks. People called me a fucking idiot about 100 times already today. Seriously.
Wow.
They did.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Zen as Fuck, and go to Zen as Fuck, zenaf.tv. Check these guys out. You can download their podcast wherever you get your fine podcasts. They'll be up at DeanBlundell.com in a moment's notice. So keep an eye out for that. But guys, listen, this is going to be awesome. I'm really excited to have you part of the network, and we're really excited to watch your content and be part of your lives and get to know you and all that other stuff. And if today was any indication, you guys will have fun with us too. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah, we're stoked, man.
Much.
Thank you so much, man.
So
Seriously.
Anytime. And please thank your wife, Mo, for following me, because it was the other day I saw I got a follow and it had a blue check mark, and I always like him. Oh, who famous person?
I used to have one
Collins.
too, Dean, but they took it away because I deactivated my account for 2 weeks, and they said they would give it back to me. Yeah, so that's the way it went. It's true.
No, Wayne says no. Wayne says
No,
it's not
fuck
true.
Wayne. Who the fuck
No,
is
it's
Wayne?
true. No, it's true. It's just shut the fuck up about it.
Wayne Hanna, follow him on TikTok. Good Morning Assholes, where you can find him. Also, Alex Skuby, and Zen as Fuck TV, zenaf.tv. Go and check these guys out. They're very, very funny. Some of the animated stuff's out to fucking lunch. It is incredible. But thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you guys.
So much. Love you guys.
There you go.
Man.
Alex Skuby and Wayne Hanna, ladies and gentlemen. Some wonderful guys joined the network. Really excited to have them. How fucking ripped are those two?
Dude.
Hey,
I like them.
Hey,
I like
hey,
them.
Bonzi.
Yeah,
Dude, they're shot out of a cannon. Funny dudes, and they're right up my alley. Listen, I was just gonna say,
Matter of time
the
before they're on the Dean Jr. show a little later.
I was wondering if they were free tonight. No, all jokes aside, they're awesome, funny dudes, and I can't wait to see all their content and stuff. Hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Good
You
for
know,
you.
good for them. I mean, fuck, just having guys like that want to be a part of like a community, right? Like you understand what
better,
we're doing, and everybody's kind of moving in the same direction. But if you listen to their podcast, you get a real kind of feel for, just generally speaking, two guys that sit around talking and talking about things that actually matter, and then they go into a 10-minute diatribe about how they couldn't marry a guy just because of the balls, which I get. I totally get that.
And the hair.
There's a lot of unfortunate placement of hair. I think
with men
is a major issue. Yeah, I got I got hair sprouting up everywhere.
And it's do you get because I was telling a story about the hair. Yeah. So I go out for dinner with a female a while ago, and I hadn't been out for a long time, and I put a nice shirt on. I put a nice other shirt over top of that shirt. Nice pants, nice shoes, groomed, everything good, grooming, cleaning up. Then I went to the restaurant, sat down, had like an hour conversation, had about 40 soda water. So I'm like, I got to piss. So I go into the bathroom and I'm looking at how incredibly good looking I am. Like I'm checking myself out. I'm like, you look tremendous. Look at you. look at you, 48. You've
Getting
never
some
felt better.
tonight.
You might get laid. Look at you. And out of the corner of my eye, I see something sticking out of my ear that has to be a foot long. If it's an inch. I'm exaggerating, but it was a good fuck. Like, it's like that long, and it was like sticking straight out of my ear.
Yeah.
And I
How'd
thought
you
to
miss
myself,
it before?
how the fuck did that just
You're
happen?
not always paying attention. Well, look, his hair is fucking white as a sheet.
I know. That might be it. The color of the hair growing out of my ears. And I grabbed it and I went like this, and I kept pulling it, and it was just, and then all of a sudden it stopped like right about here, and I'm like, that is like a fucking, that's disgusts me. Like, I was so grossed out by this ear hair, Aaron, and it's not a regular ear hair. It's like the thickness of a fucking underwater telephone cable, right?
Yeah.
And
I've had them.
I couldn't fucking, I didn't know where it came from. Like, did it, and here's the question. When you get to this age, do those things just grow like overnight? Or did I just not pay attention to any part of my face for months? Like,
every once in a while, I'll have a runaway too. Like, I'll have one where I'm like, where did that, like, it doesn't happen all the time, but then you get a hold of it and you yank it out. And mine are dark, right? Mine, I don't have the Casper the Ghost thing that you got going on here. So mine are thicker and they feel like you could repair something with them, right? Like, if I kept it, I could use it to, fix something in my engine block.
with it. Yeah, if I was feeling extra depressed, I could have fucking ended it all with that ear hair.
Seriously. But I'll grab it and yank it out, and it feels like it comes from the depths of hell too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've had a couple out of my nose too, where I'm like, look at, what's that? And you get a hold of it and bow, and she comes out and they're like this, and there's like a ball of white on the end, and your eyes water for a half an hour. I don't know where those. Yeah.
That's weird. That's the
Men are
ball of
gross.
white. I think that's a booger. Yeah, guys are disgusting.
Yeah,
like disgusting, and it's the hair that grosses me out. Like, it's not.
I got hair on my
other
back
part
now.
of it.
Have you ever seen?
No other part of aging bothers me other than like the errant hairs you start to grow. And Brenton on Tour joins us in the Brenton on Tour podcast. What?
No, I was going to say back in the day, I was a couple of girls like in high school, if they were of the, well, and it was after too, but some girls with the nipple hair. That's gross. Have you ever had that? Nipple hair?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
I don't need that in my life.
It's a real thing.
We're not. I know it's a real thing. We're not talking about other people. We're talking about ourselves and aging and how we get errant ear hairs. And the second it was your turn to say something about this demeaning process of aging, you're like, "Hey guys, you ever seen a chick with nipple hair?" Like,
yeah, I don't. That's wrong. I'm against nipple hair. I mean, I shouldn't be allowed to have any opinion about hair just based on what I sprout on a monthly basis. I do the monthly dewooking.
Yeah.
Like, I go into the basement and I knock her all down, and and I get hairs now like all over the place, and then none on my head. Like, that's the disturbing thing about it.
Yeah, right? It's migrating. It's almost like it's migrating as we get older, and then it's also popping up in places it shouldn't, like just above the small of your back. Like, that's why guys go bald, right?
The monkey patch.
Just the monkey patch right above your ass crack or the back hair. Brenton on Tour podcast, Kids on the Escalator podcast, season 2 debuts today. DeanBlundell.com. Season 3 debuts today. DeanBlundell.com.
Is that the one I'm on?
No, so to deconfuse, season 2 of Kids on the Escalator debuted Monday with Lachlan talking WKRP, and the Brenton on Tour podcast original on the network. Season 3 debuted today. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
all right.
Who's on the network original debut?
Today actually was all about talking planes, trains, and automobiles in real life, because I had to actually physically go from America into Canada, which you guys know, Dean, I was at your house eating Harvey's, but I had to get back to home here by Thanksgiving. So it just kind of was like life imitating art a little bit, because I had to.
Did you have a hard time getting back?
I had to fly in. I had to rent. We had a death in the family, so that changed all the whole thing. And I had to rent a car, and I had to fly, and that process of getting tested to come back in, and then just getting delayed and bumped. And I was like, this is kind of an interesting thing, and those guys were trying to make it home for Thanksgiving, and I was trying to make it home for Thanksgiving, and so, hey, thought I'd launch in with a thing. So it sounds like
your latest podcast is more of a bitch session about how long it took you to get back to BC. That's what it sounds like to me.
Traveling right now is a pain in the ass from,
Thank you, Lachlan. Thank you, Lachlan.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you a bit of an out.
I don't bitch about travel, but in this particular case, it just was comboing.
I fucking hate traveling. Oh my God.
Do you really? I fucking
love it. Lachlan, I don't bitch about it because if you're fortunate enough to do it, there's so many people that aren't. So I just kind of go with the flow. But I do touch on the guy sit beside you that won't shut up. The whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Oh, did you have a Dell? Did you have a Dell next to you?
Dell Griffith. I've had them in the past. I got lucky on this trip because I don't know how you guys fly, but I like to be first on the plane and get out of the way and get out of everyone, just kind of whatever. But I'm also happy completely to be the last one off the plane. And these morons that stand up and clap when it lands, all day long just kills me.
Yeah. I'm the guy that sits down.
Oh my God, we are alive! I can't believe we're alive.
I'm the guy that sits down, and then right behind him, the screaming baby. And I've had this theory for a long time. Kids ruin your life. You just need to come to terms with it. If you've decided to have fucking kids, you just become a non-existent entity in the world, right? So the last thing you should be allowed to do is travel. Unless, of course, you drug your kids completely out of submission so that none of us can be bothered by them, right?
I've got a good one about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going to be traveling with kids, which is fine, you're allowed to, it's not against the law, then do us all a favor and drug them. Just give them an entire package of fucking Gravol and they'll go to sleep, right? And
baby
then we don't have to deal with them. Yeah.
I don't even know if you're allowed to give that kind of advice to people because you know what will happen.
Well, you don't do it
because there's some
in the
idiot
waiting
out there that's
room,
going to listen to this podcast and he's going to go, "Hey, Lachlan told me to feed my child."
I ate a whole package of Gravol when I was a kid. I was fine.
Slept for a fucking week, but I was great when I woke up.
Listen, if you're traveling with kids and you haven't asked those questions about how to drug my kids for flight, you're not doing parenting right.
Exactly. Thank you, Brent.
I was amazed, dude. When we had kids, I was amazed at how many normal parents are like, we drug our kids all the time. Like,
yeah, we had a thing.
As soon as you get on an airplane, you give them some tempura, then you give them some Gravol, and your kid's out for 8 hours. I'm like, I don't think that's legal. You're supposed to be fucking drugging your child so you can have a better go of it on a fucking airplane.
The only advice I have to give though is do it after you've left the tarmac and you're in the air. Give yourself that 30 minutes because if you do,
you're in international skies, so you can't get arrested.
So no, but not so much that it's that. When
dragging them by the arm,
when you drag them by the arms into the plane, and then the plane gets delayed 3 hours. The plane gets delayed 3 hours, and you're dragging them back through the airport, and then they're wide awake for the actual flight.
Or if your wife and you are carrying, one's got the feet and the other's got the hands, you overdid it.
That happened to us. That happened to us on Alaska Air. We got delayed 3 hours, and the kids were like,
toast.
Yeah.
Did you grab all your kids?
This was back on.
You did, didn't you? You doped.
Well, listen. You got a 7-hour. Of course, I just told you I'm giving advice to people.
Drug your kids.
This is the proper thing. That's right. The proper way to do this. The proper way to do this is just to
once they hit 2, they're fine.
Yeah, that's right. It's completely fine.
Once they hit 2, it's out of their system. No way the cops can come and get you for it because it's out of they pee it out.
Yeah, and the only other thing that I'm waiting for now is that all your anti-vax friends that support you, Dean, are going to go on and say everyone on the Dean Blundell network, drugs their children, and so why are we listening to them about the vax status? But it's good for flights. Anything over 4 hours.
I admit it. I fucking and my wife was against it, so I had to do it behind her back as well.
Are you serious right now?
Absolutely. I used to do another thing too that my wife was mortified by. So if she ever left the babies at home with me, and they were somewhat attached to the mother for some strange reason, and they weren't fond of being left at home with dad. If they cried, I would just hang them upside down for a quick second. You just like grab them by a foot. You don't have to shake them or anything like that. You just hang them upside down, and then flip them back around and put them in the seat. And they were so stunned, right? They'd stop crying. It worked every fucking time.
Bonzi loves. Look at his face. He thinks that's the funniest thing. You're talking about abuse, and he's dying laughing.
I didn't abuse him. I just him upside down. A little blood in the melon fucking stops the crying right away.
This is like the third time. This is like the third time I've heard Lachlan tell the story about holding children upside down. So he seems to like talking about it a lot. So.
It's a go-to. It works.
Like I said, there's never going to be a day where I have to walk up on stage and grab an award for parenting. And Father of the Year, bit of a dark horse this year, Lachlan Cross.
I mean, sure. Did he drug his kids every time he went to his mom's house? Yes. Did he hold his kids upside down as infants to get them to stop crying? For sure. But you know what he does? He tells his kids he loves them. So it's okay.
I fucking love my kids. I do.
I know you do. I know you do. Welcome to the program. Yet another launching podcast, and we had lots of talks over this. I'm thrilled that this guy joins the network. His name is Brad Hopper. He's a paramedic, and he's got a brand new podcast called OffLoad Delay. It is a podcast not only for first responders, it is a podcast for anyone who wants to hear stories about first responders or people who are dealing with some shit because they've seen some shit. So welcome, Hops. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Best summer ever.
See everyone. How are you doing today?
Did you get my hat? Did it show up?
Look at that.
I literally ordered them the same day you did, and I haven't got mine yet.
Shipped directly from Oakville.
Still charged you the same amount they charged me.
I ordered from
Alberta.
right
I love
from
it.
Oakville.
Yeah. Brent, you want to say something?
No, I just want to compliment Brad on his mic game. It's already up. He's already got the mic game. He's already got his mic game going. We were sitting in a Starbucks in Belleville, Ontario the other day, and he's like, "Man, I don't know about this mic game." Like, look at the guy. He's already podcast for like months. Look at this shit.
I'm getting some wicked feedback, but can you guys get me without echoing?
Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the conversation about 8 times, but we'll get there.
Oh, are you really? Okay.
You'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go.
That's
Have you plugged your headphones into the actual microphone? Is that
there?
Yeah. Okay, well, good. We'll figure it out as we go. Don't worry about a thing. We've got you covered. So tell us about the podcast, because something that we've been talking about, and as a matter of fact, Brad was kind enough to come with his lovely girlfriend / wife / partner, whatever you want to call it, because you guys are. I don't know about the political correct stuff. I just know that he's been with this lovely lady. I got a chance to meet her and his dog, and we sat and talked about this podcast. And at the end of the podcast, all the great ideas we had, we just came around to, Brad, do whatever you want. And he's like, okay, that's it. But what is it? Like, what do you hope to accomplish? And tell us about OffLoad Delay, your new podcast, which is coming to DeanBlundell.com for first responders.
Well, I think if we start out with the offload delay title, that's kind of the point in our careers when the medics are sitting in the crew room trying to offload their patients to the hospital. But the reality of that is that's when the real conversations happen amongst all us first responders. We are talking about dinners, we're talking about families, we're talking about friends, we're talking sometimes about work, but we get mixed in there with the police. We got the fire guys, security, family. This is the podcast is going to be a fly on the wall. We're going to let the outsiders in. We're going to let the public that want to come in and hear the real deal about what we do and the trials and tribulations we have. But even more so, we're going to address the issues that we have as first responders in general. The real issues we have as far as shit that the employer won't necessarily tell everybody that's going on out there. And I think there's a lot of interest from my colleagues and friends and family out there to try and spill some of this information and get this off our chest. It's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah, 2 things. One, I don't think there's anything like it. A podcast or a show
unique
for people that are dealing with the kind of trauma that you see on a daily basis just to earn a paycheck, right? Like, I mean, there aren't a lot of people. Brad has been a firefighter for many years. He's been a paramedic for many years. He's got his master's in biology, so we count on him for a lot of great information. So there's that. And the other thing is, and I just noticed is that Lachlan apparently got the cheapest hats in the history of hats to be able to put that logo on. And I'm concerned because
I'm trying to make as much profit as I possibly can.
Yeah, but it doesn't sit on the head properly. It's like one of those hats that you wear that your dad would wear going outside to shovel the fucking driveway.
Okay, hold on. First off, Manny, who you know, gave me like 3 or 4 options of hats, and we chose the dad hat for this hat specifically because it needed to be the dad hat, right? So that's exactly why it looks cheap as well, and it looks.
Yeah, but I would never wear it. I would never wear a hat that has the dimples on the side because what the dimples say is it's a cheap hat, right? I look behind him. You got a nice locker room hat. The host of did you see the locker room hat he's got behind him? The host of the locker room, Lachlan Cross, right here. It's like that's a good hat. This hat, it doesn't hold on the head like normal hats. So you got to get better hats, and people will buy them. Seriously.
Yeah, see, I'm more about what the message says, and the quality of the hat needs to match the shit message from the hat. I'm okay with them looking like hell. We're making fun. We're trolling the UCP government in Alberta with those hats, so they needed to be a piece of shit hat.
You know what's really cool?
But thanks for your criticism.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just thought if you wanted to make some money, you would have put out a better hat. Like Brad bought that because he's a nice guy. He didn't buy the hat because he's like, fuck, I love that hat.
Brad's one of 2 people that bought the hat. The other guy is listening today, and he's pissed off because it hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, is he?
Ryan.
Yeah, is it? No, it did
Ryan
show
bought
up.
one for human too, for humor as well.
No, it did show up. It's right here. This is like he didn't buy that to wear it. Look at it.
Oh, look at that is an awful hat. Oh, it did show up. Is he mad? He's mad at the quality too.
Yes.
Oh, they were made in Bangladesh.
That's awesome.
Made it by 5-year-olds. Yeah. Oh, Ryan, thank you. Thank you for your purchase. By the way, all that money going to feed the locker room alcohol. Just so you know, we always thought the transparency was important with respect to what we make from our hats and t-shirt sales. Yes.
No, it is. It is. People will give you money. If you said this money is for sick kids, meanwhile, you're going to spend it on booze, people would wonder if it's for sick kids and then, kind of delay in paying you what you needed to go out and do whatever you're going to do. And instead, what you've done is you've gone with the honest answer, which is we're going to take the money you pay for this and we're going to get drunk with it. And everybody's like, yeah, I'm good with that. Lachlan's a good guy. Let's get him drunk.
I also realized that this is probably more truth than you guys needed today from me on the merch for the locker room, and we can move on once I tell you this. But I had this inkling that there was a good chance we wouldn't make much money selling this shit. So the last thing I wanted every year was to collect $272 and walk into the food bank and go, here, by the way, we made $200 from what? Oh, from the sale of our merch for the entire fucking year.
A little embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah. Would have been embarrassing. Now, if I expected to make thousands of dollars, maybe that would have had, some impact on the community that I live in. Unfortunately, I was right about what we were going to accomplish with the sale of the merch. And so far, we made $273 in the last year.
120 of that was from that fucking terrible hat that you're selling people, right?
No, we're not going to make any money off the best summer ever hats.
No.
Hey, Locke, let me ask you, did you put the same amount of investigation into merchandise that you're going to sell to the general public as you did for the children's drugs that you used to drug the children for did you use a generic Gravol, or did you go right to the name brand, or did you get a good product for the children?
I will say this: if they run out of Gravol at the store at the airport, cough syrup is not a horrible idea either. And is
that true, Brad? Brad's a paramedic. Is that true? Is that true, Brad? Locke has just kind of regaled us in stories about how he used to hop his kids up on Gravol every time they got in the car.
Oh, they sleep like fucking kittens.
Yeah. Is it? Oh, no, we lost your audio, Brad. We lost your audio. See if you can turn it
It's back. That damn mic.
Press that button. Is it green on the front? Is it green? Press it again. No, we lost your audio. Pop out and pop back in again.
Yeah, he muted himself, I think. Yeah, he'll figure it out.
Yeah. Pop out, like get out of the and then come back in again. But listen, to your point, we're having a good laugh here. In no way does anyone at DeanBlundell.com, except for Lachlan.
Oh, I do. I totally condone this, especially if they're on my flight. And if you're on my flight and you see me and you don't have drugs for your kids, just come talk to me. We'll just take a trip to the bathroom in the back and I'll fucking hook you up. Yeah.
2 and older, though. 2 and older. Lachlan needs to. It's 2 and older.
Well, 18 months, I think, when I started drugging them. But two's, it sounds better if you say 2.
Can you hear us, Hop? You got us now?
You got me now? You got me now?
I got you now.
Yeah. Too many freaking buttons on this thing, man.
Sorry about that. Are you supposed to drug your kids? Yes or no? Can you give them gravel?
Better.
Is it legal?
Way better. Gravel is too easy. There's way better shit than that out there, fellas. Yeah, you can go for the heavier stuff. There's a calculation out there I'll give you later by age. Yeah, we can sort it out.
That'd be great.
Save you some grief.
I remember my mom got pissed off at me because I used to get car sick. So she used to drug me all the time when I was a kid. And I probably told the story before on this podcast, but I will repeat stories from time to time. I'm practicing for funerals. The Gravol comes in like the little, like the pill packages or whatever. And she was busy doing something in the front of the car, probably trying to find her smokes. And so I was whining about going to get car sick. So she threw the whole package back. And at that time, I thought it would be a good idea. You're talking to a kid that used to experiment with his finger in his bum. So this is probably no surprise to anybody. But I ate the entire package of Gravol. And once they realized it on our road trip, they decided to pull into an emergency room at some like small town.
How old were you?
Oh, shit. I was still hauling around crayon books. Okay,
so you're like young,
I'm
like
6,
5, 6.
7. This is one of the handful of memories I have before the age of 10. And I remember being in the waiting room in the emergency to get my stomach pumped or whatever the fuck they were going to do. And I had this little briefcase that I used to carry my crayons, but like my coloring books and everything in. And I was putting it down on the ground and it would like multiply 1,000 fucking times. And then I would pick it up and it would go whoop, right back into the kit. And then so for about a half an hour until somebody came and got me, I just sat there stoned as fuck on Gravol, putting my briefcase down. That's one of many over-drugged stories I have as a child.
Yeah.
Tune in tomorrow for the story about the hash brownies in the woods.
Did your parents give it to you? This is where it comes from. Is your parents taught you how to drug your own kids by drugging you when you were a kid?
Look, I'm
Fucking
fine.
wild.
That's why I realized it was okay to overdose your kids and put them to sleep on a plane.
Look at me. I'm fine. Look at me. I used to say that all the time. I'd be driving around when I was drinking heavily. I'd drive around and I'd look at these homeless guys with like a bottle of sherry in a bag.
What's wrong with you?
He's still alive. Look at him. He's still alive. I mean, his quality of life is shit, but look at him. Look what he's doing. Anyway, listen, Hop, I'm really excited for your podcast. It's called Offload Delay. If you are a first responder or you know one, make sure you let them know that this is coming out. I think there's going to be a lot of help here for a lot of different people. I think what you're doing is fantastic. I think generally speaking, this thing is to help other people that are in the business that you're in, which will in turn, I think, help you, and that's kind of the beautiful part of this is that, when you start to understand that communicating with people and sharing your information with people actually helps other people, it makes the world a bit of a better place, which I didn't know was like important up until the last few years, but apparently it is. So congratulations.
You know what I think is going to be interesting about this, because Brad, I don't think that this is going to be something just for the people in your line of work. I think a lot of people are going to be interested if you're pulling back the curtains, especially considering about how much misinformation there is out there right now about the world that we live in on the health side of things as well. So I think it's important that somebody brave like yourself takes a chance and does something like this, because I think we need it. I think we desperately need it. There's way too many opinions about what you do and the people in your community do. without having any fucking knowledge of it. It's absolutely amazing to me to sit there and read a fucking Facebook post from some guy that's decided what you guys have to deal with and what you're dealing with in an ICU or like whatever. It's just like, fuck off. Like, you have no idea. Shut up. So I think it's important that what you're doing, Brad, and I'm looking forward to hearing the first episode.
We're gonna do the best we can to bring the real message to everybody, and absolutely, this is going to be a fly on the wall in our world.
Yeah.
That's the intent. We get asked a lot of the same questions by outsiders, if you will, all the time. Same things. I don't know how you do what you do. I don't know how you see it. Well, the employer seems to be supporting you here. Yada yada yada. No, we're gonna speak some truth, and I've had a lot of people lined up already to come on. So we have a good base ready to go, and literally people saying, "Can I speak openly? Can I speak freely?" And it's like, absolutely. Let's just call it what it is. And it's going to lead to some interesting stories, and I'm going to have some non-first responders on there as well to ask us some questions and to get involved in the conversation and just tell us some of your stories of interacting with us from your side. So
it's going to be an eye opener, and I'm really excited for it. Speaking of eye openers, and I said I would never talk about these kinds of people, but I thought it was worth a conversation because we were talking about this guy. You know that big COVID party in Edson? Do you remember that big COVID party?
Is that guy dead?
I don't know if he's dead yet, but closing in on the big nap, if you will. I checked on his status today. This guy here.
Yeah.
Remember this picture? This picture of him is rural Alberta guy. He's from Edson. He went to that Edson COVID party where they're trying to get fucking COVID, and they thought it was like the chicken pox.
That's right, Chris.
Idiots. His name is Chris Palkin, 40. He's in intensive care at Edmonton's Grey Nuns Hospital. He's been there now for a couple of weeks. This is him and his young family prior to the whole thing. His wife was an anti-vaxxer. She is no longer an anti-vaxxer. I don't even want to talk about that because they had fucking 2 years to protect these kids from that result. They had 2 fucking years to protect these beautiful children. No, I think it is. I think it's totally fair. I think it's totally fair, and I'll tell you why. And then I'd love to hear why. And then I want to turn it over to Brad, and then we'll cast out here. But I don't have any sympathy. I look at that picture of him struggling. I see those beautiful children, and I think about the ignorance. Which we talked about earlier, all these people on Facebook which is why I'm excited for Brad's podcast. We talked about the ignorance of people saying that they knew better than the doctors. They knew better than the virologists. They knew better than paramedics. They knew better than everybody else that was trying to save that guy's life. And he intentionally tried to get COVID, and he got it. And now he's in the hospital fighting for his life, and he may not live. And those 3 beautiful kids have had to listen to all the bullshit coming out of their parents for the past, I don't know, fucking year and 2 years maybe.
They're not alone, man. There's a ton of people like that don't believe in it. Here's the reason why I think it's a little harsh to just to write her off because she's come around, because I think she's making.
I'm not writing her off. I'm not. I think if I gave that impression, I'm sorry. I'm not writing her off. What I'm saying is that the woes us stuff. Deaf ears at this point.
And I don't know if she's doing that. She's trying, from what I've read, because we are following that story pretty closely here in Edmonton. She's now actively on these boards and everything, trying to tell her story, trying to set the record straight with the community that she was a big part of, the anti-vax community. And the thing that a lot of people might not know is they knew somebody had COVID. And so they actually had a fucking party.
Prior to that party? They knew someone that had COVID?
They brought a person or more than one person that had, chicken pox. Hey, my kids got chicken pox. Bonzi, bring your kids over. Everybody needs to get chicken pox. And they have a fucking gathering. They had a gathering. They had a fucking picnic or a dinner or whatever with somebody that had COVID with the motivation of getting something that everyone just thinks is a fucking flu, right? And in the hopes that we all don't have to get vaccinated because now we're going to have the antibodies. And I think he's got it the worst. His name's Chris, I think.
But there was his name, yeah.
Yeah, there was there was a couple of people at that party that ended up in the hospital as a result of getting COVID as well. So, and again, I understand where you're coming from, Dean, on the sympathy thing, but the reason why I think we need to listen, they made a mistake. She's trying to make amends for it, and I don't think she's looking for poor me. Like, she's on social media now in the press going, listen, we fucked up. We were wrong. We didn't know that this was what it is.
Yeah.
And I've made a mistake, and here's how I'm trying to fix that mistake. It's fucking
crazy. Good. Show her this then, Dean and Locke. Show her this, okay?
Are you
because
still this fucking puffer?
This is my fucking reality now. Okay, I was fine, and then now it's reared its head through that, through the humidity and shit. My lungs are still a mess. So let's show them this part, okay?
Yeah,
that's the reality of this goddamn thing.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask Hop about. Is like you pull up, you deal with these people on a daily basis. How many stories like this do you see? How many stories like this do you see on a daily basis?
Too many, and that's who we're dealing with most now. They're making the bulk of our business as far as the ones that are resistant to the vaccination, if you will, for whatever reason they have. I'm with Locke, though. I'm going to back up a bit. I'm with Locke. I think that we need to let these people that have lived it, that are going through it, come out now and tell us their story. And if they want to change sides, then so be it. If they're still on the pro anti-vax side, I have no time for them. But if they've realized how bad this is and they've lived it, then let's bring them on. Bring them on the pod. Let's have them on here. Let's talk about what they found, what they felt, what they saw. But no more spreading this message
the bullshit
that's out there.
I gotta tell you, I don't see. This is the thing, and I tweeted about it last week. I'm like, I'm not forwarding any stories of I used to be an anti-vaxxer, now I've seen the light, because of the damage that they've done leading up to it, and only when it touches them personally. Right? How many fucking people died because of tweets that they put out prior to that touching their family personally?
But
how
there's
many?
a bigger issue.
How
though,
many
Dean.
people? I don't think there is. I don't think there is
a bigger issue, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to fix it. But the misinformation, and I'm trying to do something right now because I don't want to be on. I don't want to be the extreme version of the conversation on this side of it. I want to try to figure out what the fuck, like, how does somebody get that to that point? Like, why are we where we're at right now? Like, so I'm trying to, because for a long time, up until a couple of weeks ago, if somebody like I'll use Rogan for an example. The ivermectin thing pissed me off, and I was just like, you fucking moron. Look at if you can't understand the power that you have and understand the mistake that you may have made, and the guy keeps doubling down. He keeps, like, instead of actually going on and saying, hey, listen, this is what I did and this is why I did it, and I understand that you don't go take the fucking horse paste. Instead, he's on fucking defending what he did and trying to find information to support what he did. So he had a guy on, this Alex guy, and it's the first time anybody stood up to him on the ivermectin thing. And it's within 15 minutes of the pod. It's his most recent one, if you want to go listen to it. And I'm finding it very difficult to listen to it because the guy's fucking, he annoys me so much now. And I used to be such a big Rogan fan, but I'm trying to power through it because I'm trying to hear what this guy has to say. I'm trying to hear that mindset of, this isn't as bad as everybody's saying it is. We shouldn't have shut down. Like, you know what? There are alternative cures. There's a mindset and a bigger issue at play here, Dean. And the separation is going to continue until we figure out why the fuck we are where we are right now. Like, I have people in my own family, and you do too, that believe that the media has created this and that we're the fucking problem. Like, people like you and I on a podcast, right? Like, are a bigger part of the issue than what the fucking issue actually is. And that's fucking crazy to me. Like, there used to be this, I don't trust the government mindset, or, you know what, maybe I need a second opinion if I go to my doctor. and he tells me my liver's swollen, I'll go to another doctor, right? Like, there used to be that mentality. Now it's like, no, I'm going to fucking treat this shit on my own because my fucking doctor's lying to me. The politicians are fucking criminals. I'm going to dig holes in my fucking acreage and collect arms. Like, we're in a fucking weird place, Dean. Yeah. We're in a fucking weird place. And,
you know, and I'll tell you this, is that I have family members that are bagging rice right now. I do. And preparing for doomsday. And if they got it, as much as I love them, I would feel the same way. I would feel the fucking same way. And that's how you know this is fucking real. Like, for me anyway, is that I see those pictures, and the goal for those people, for me, is to change the conversation when it comes to their own reputation. Like, whoa, we've seen the light. But you know what? It's kind of like someone that makes fun of handicapped people until they have one. You know what I mean? And then they go, "Oh, I don't like those jokes anymore." Well, of course you don't like the jokes anymore because it fucking happened to you, right? Like and you shouldn't have been telling those jokes in the first place. You shouldn't have been acting like that in the first place. And the damage that was done in the 20 months prior to these people, this guy, this dude, throwing a fucking party to get COVID with the express purpose of getting COVID, I have a very difficult time justifying sharing his wife's story that, oh, we got it wrong, right? You got it wrong because you wanted to until it mattered. And now that it matters, you're fucking on the right side. I don't have any time for it. It's like, it's you know what, to me, a good analogy would be like, you know, that guy in a fucking fight that the second the fight's over and the dude's on the ground comes out from behind all the tough guys and starts wailing away to prove how fucking with it he is and how with the group he is. I don't like it. I don't like any part of these stories because, of course, there's fucking sadness there. Yeah, go ahead, Brad. Talk to me, baby.
I'm going to back you up there with that argument and that story. It's not the way I was heading with it. What I think is these people are now a tool for us to bring those people that are still really uncertain or unsure of what they should do, to bring them forward, to tell their story. I'm not going to support them and all those parties and all the shit they caused and whatever financial burdens they had on the healthcare system, but
the kids,
we definitely need to bring them forward.
Kids
it's no different than when the seatbelts were coming out in the cars.
Yeah.
You know what? Someone that went through the windshield would come on TV and say, you know what? Maybe it's not a bad idea. We should go with this. Now, I'm not saying I feel bad for them, but there's a lot of people that are coming to me now that are like, I'm not sure what to do anymore. I really don't know. And the more support we can get, more versions of the story we can get. These people thought they were fucking invincible and they were just going to go out and get this herd immunity with a fucking party, and then at the cost of the neighbors and the healthcare system around. No, I don't support that at all. I don't want you to think that in any way, shape, or form. Right. But I'll piggyback on their story now and say, you know what? Come on. There's some people that live next to me that don't know what the hell they want. Show them the reality of it.
Yeah, and I guess that's what this is, right? I guess that's why we're talking about it, is because it's a teachable moment for everybody. I you know, and I am being selfish. I'm being emotionally selfish talking about it.
You're allowed.
Give your neighbors my number, Brad.
Exactly. I need all of you on board. Right? My story is only mine.
Dean, you're allowed. And the thing is, I think we're at a point right now where we're all so fucking angry that we're avoiding having the conversations that we should be having. And I'm trying to get past it. I'm trying to get past that point. Like, for me, just as a content creator, I'm avoiding having conversations on my show because of where we're at. Like that Eric Clapton thing that came down. He's like bankrolling some band that's writing anti-vax, and I don't even want to fucking talk about it. Like we're avoiding so much shit right now that I don't know.
He also played Locke. He also played a show that he said he wasn't going to play, which was playing a theater that
he's a total fucking hypocrite. Yeah, he's a fucking hypocrite.
Hey, Dean, before we go, can I ask Bonzi, though? I had one question I haven't had a chance to get Bonzi's thoughts, because Bonzi had all the stuff, you know, he melted into the universe after he had his shot. But where is your what's your stance now, Bonzi, on the vax?
Listen, I'm glad I got it. It was inevitable that I was going to get it. In the time. And it took 2 weeks.
Look at that. The Vax is making him sound like a robot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mill just bounced out right now. But, ultimately it is what it is. I'm not getting another shot. I can tell you that. I did my due diligence. I am vaccinated. But after what I went through, and a lot of other people are going through stuff too. But again, at the same time, I never ended up like that guy you just showed who is literally on a ventilator, and he may not see his kids ever again. So,
yeah. Oh, well, stuff happens. That's how I feel. I literally, that's where I am with this. Like if someone was like, "Oh, look at this," I'd be like,
and Dean, you're justified, right?
Yeah.
Right, and I get it.
Not that I want it to happen. Like it's not like one of these things where you go, "Oh fuck, I'm really glad that happened to you. Let that be a lesson to you and your family. I hope he dies. I hope he lives. I hope he lives. I hope the kids get their dad back." But I'm not here to make them feel better about them making the world a fucking worse place because all of a sudden they've been touched by it. I'm not here for that. Anyway,
don't you? I hate to keep this going, but
please,
aren't you like for me right now? I'm just fucking baffled at where we're at. Like I can't understand.
By what?
I'm baffled by like
people don't believe fact, science,
like actively pursuing something to inform your own sort of.
Can I explain it in a tweet?
Amazing to me.
Can I explain it in
a tweet?
Let me explain this in a tweet. I put this out today. This is the truth. This is like when you want to figure it out. If you're like sitting there going, "How is this fucking possible? How can people want to get sick like this? How can people pretend this isn't happening? How?" After everything we've seen, after the death, after the fucking lockdowns, after the shots, after all this, how can you believe it? This is very, very simple to me. The difference between anti-vaxxers and everyone else, they think this is happening to them. Everyone else, us, knows that things happen, and we just fucking get on with it. That's it. They think this is happening to them. They think that the government's doing this to them. They think China did this to them. They think that the government is
you're right.
And so I look at it a very different way. I don't and so if I get caught up in the victim mentality stories like theirs, because that's what that is to me. It's like we're victims of this terrible disease now too. We want to open the door, let us in. No, man. No, not at all. Not at all, and here's why. And it's very, very simple to me. I don't believe I'm a victim. No one on this fucking panel thinks they're victims, except for Bonzi. He's a victim. No one here believes that. No, I'm just joking, Bonzarelli. Sort of like 10% truth. No one here has that mentality that, oh my God, this pandemic is so terrible for me. Nobody. We just think there's a pandemic going on and we've got life to live. We've got things to do. We need to get through this. Because a serious person, and I go back to this all the time, a serious person is able to put the fucking toys away and recognize life as life happens. And as life happens, this is it. This is exactly what life is supposed to be. We just get to experience it in our lifetime. That's how I feel. And so I do what's necessary to fucking get by like every other serious individual does. These guys are not serious people. They're victims. And I am not going to allow anybody from team victim onto team fucking responsible citizen in my mind because they don't belong there.
Yeah.
I hope they get better, but I'm not going to take part in the rah-rah. Let's all fucking get along because it doesn't matter to me anymore. We've tried to make sense of these people for 2 fucking years. Hundreds of podcasts, thousands of conversations, emails, tweets, facts, slides, doctors, science, Brad Hopper, paramedic. I mean, we've put doctors, Mario Alia. We've put everybody on, everybody that we can to say, hey, guys, this is serious for 2 years. And we'll still do it because we're still in it. And we still have a responsibility, but I don't got any time.
Yeah. Do you think you've had any impact?
Yes. Negative, yes. Positive, yes. A little bit of both.
Okay.
I think there's some division there for sure. I mean, my perspective is a healthy perspective for me, but there's division there for sure. There is.
No, and that was I seriously wanted your thoughts on that because I wonder about that too. I wonder if how I've approached this has actually helped anybody, and because I'm in that sort of thought process right now where the less I fucking engage on this, the more help I'm going to be. Because at the beginning of all this, I fought back and I'm like, you fucking, like, remember that email that I shared with you, the woman that gave me all the information and she was, she was all
wrong about everything.
She was wrong about everything. And my first instinct was to start to debunk her stuff. And then I realized after reading it a second time, she basically said in her email, listen, if you're going to send anything to debunk this, I'm not going to believe it because all your sources are probably mainstream. And I did the work to actually look for stuff that isn't. So mine's right and yours is going to be wrong. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, have I had what impact have I had on this? I mean, what's my role in this whole fucking thing? And that's kind of where that's what I'm struggling with right now. And then the avoidance on my radio show about talking about certain stories, just to sort of get past the fucking emails and the bombardment on social media about this fucking shit and what's right and what's wrong. But you're right. That's an interesting point, and I'd like to highlight it. The people that I have heard, the most vocal people through this whole thing have been the guys waving the victim flag. It's about me. Like that guy crying about not being able to fucking go to karaoke. Yeah. Like, I mean, that was all about it. It wasn't
all it is.
It wasn't all about anything. Dude. It was just
that is all it is. It is all about this is happening to me. And that's the difference between everybody else and normal people. Normal people go, these are things that are happening, and we got to fucking mitigate it, right? Brad, you were going to say something.
Step outside of yourself and be a little bit selfless. Yeah, sorry, Brad.
Bingo. Sorry,
Not
Brad.
a lot to say other than one, for my own mental health, I've had to step back and say I'm fucking done. Like we've made the argument, we've got the case that Alberta was kind enough to be the case study for the rest of Canada and go, look, this is if we do fucking nothing, this is what we're going to do. And then we can see now if you need a more scientific experiment than that, then I don't know what to give you. But if you want to know if you made a difference, first of all, Dean, I sent you a message about a colleague of mine that once I appeared on your show, he sent it to his parents and they since saw the light and something has changed for them in a positive way. And I can leave it at that. I also remember you, Locker, and I talking on the first pod you had me on about vaccine passports. And I gave my perspective as far as what the passport would mean to us if it did come in. It wasn't even in at the time, and how that would give me some sort of reprieve when I was off duty and if I was at work. And you actually kind of came around and changed your thought process on it. And you kind of, I think there's a difference by us getting out there and providing all these different views. We got 5 of us on here just today alone to give their own sides. We got Brent with his puffer there. Bonzi had a bad experience with the vax, but he still did it. He still pushed through.
He's also got that swollen taint thing, which I hope you
can, he's mega taint. It's called mega taint, actually. It causes mega taint. Anyway, continue, Brad. Sorry to interrupt with the taint stories.
We're praying for you, Bonzi.
I think you guys should you need to pat yourselves on the back a little more, even in your radio lock. And when you push and push and push, even if you make a difference for one person, that's one person that was on the fence and you've made the
bingo.
You're not pushing people the other way. I can guarantee that. They've already made their mind. There's no change in it. I'm not waiting for them anymore. I'm done. Right. I'm moving on. I can't. It's too exhausting.
And that is, you know what?
That's where Dean's at.
That is it. That is it. Like that is what Brad just said is everything as far as I'm concerned, right? It's like, hey, listen, we can only do, and I make decisions to help people based on really a couple really small principles. One is, am I making the world a better place if I say or do whatever I do? And the other principle that is this aimed at the greater good? Am I making a difference? And if I'm not, I don't do it. Sometimes I do because it's fun. Especially when you hammer somebody with something, and you're like, this isn't good for anybody, but fuck, is this guy ever going to feel like shit about himself? I can't wait to tweet it. Like, there are things like that in my life that I still employ for fun. But at the same time, when it came to this, I've never wavered from the truth, right? Because my insertion of my limited medical knowledge isn't going to help. Like, it's not helping anybody. So what we did is we went out and found experts to tell people the truth on a regular basis. Brad's one of them. Dr. Mario Walia is another. And we do it in every single subject and every single category because we're not that person. But this is supposed to be about learning, and none of those people fucking took time to learn, right? They just assumed that they knew better because whatever it was they decided wasn't happening fit their narrative. And so that's make-believe to me. And I'm not fucking... I don't live in a land of make-believe. I live in a land where fucking we have hard decisions to make based on things that happen on a daily basis. And if you're incapable of doing that, you got to get out of the way until you can. And that's how I feel. So anyway, Brad Hopper, Offload Delay is his podcast. You can download it whenever it starts. When do you start doing the podcast, Brad?
Probably within a week now, there'll be some stuff released on. There's an Instagram site and there's going to be a Twitter site that's there, and we'll be putting the message out. But it'll be through your network, so lots of people are going to see the release.
Yeah, we're excited. We're super pumped. I'm really excited to have you. So, yeah, absolutely.
Panel.
We're all here for each other.
Thank you, Brad.
And
way to go, Brad.
Brenton on Tours podcast. Yeah, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. Episode 2 of season 3 is out now of the Kids on the Escalator podcast and the Brenton on Tour podcast. Life is fun when you follow guys like Brent, because his last podcast is literally about trying to get home for Thanksgiving. It was a good one.
And hey, thanks for the retweet on The Sopranos there, Diener. Nice work, buddy. That was a fun.
Yeah,
that was a fun one.
Many Saints in Newark.
Hey, did you watch that yet?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
good.
I did a review. You got to do a review.
Okay.
I did a review on it. It's on the network. Check it out.
Okay, I will go. I'll go have a look because I'm curious to because I know how much of a fan you are. I'm curious to hear what you had to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Dean. It's like I gave it a 2.25, and that whole 2.25 is great. The other bit, not so much.
Like it was one of those movies where you're watching it and you're like, is it going to start soon? Like, what's happening?
I think they were trying to do too many things or something. Fuck, I don't know what it was.
They tied up a bunch of loose ends and stuff in there, but it was just.
And why were they doing that?
Never got going. I don't know.
Just fucking.
I never saw The Sopranos.
Really?
Oh God, Bonzi.
Yeah. I started it and I've just never got back to it. And one day I will, though. I heard it's the best show out there from what everybody tells me. So one day I'll get there.
Yeah,
Breaking Bad and Sopranos, probably my two most favorite shows I've ever watched.
Best first season in the history of first seasons is The Sopranos of any show ever.
Fuck, such a good, Oh,
it's awesome.
It just grabs you right away.
Yeah, not many shows led with a gangster having a fucking nervous breakdown in his backyard. Like that's the great part about it. It's like, well, fuck, gangster having a nervous breakdown. He's got like a fucking. Remember Malfi? Fuck. Anyway, don't worry about it. It's a great show. Go watch it. Brad Hopper is Offload Delay. The podcast is coming, and Brenton on Tour, the podcast, which you can find anywhere you get your fine podcasts, including DeanBlundell.com. Bonzi Live is tonight at 9:00. Who do you have on your show tonight?
A friend of mine from high school, Rosalind Smythe. She just ran the Boston Marathon. She came second in her age division. She's ran it quite a few times, and she's a great story. Loves running, and so she'll be on the show tonight.
Looking forward to it.
Coincidentally, she's going to be on my show next week, and then she's going to be on Brad's the week after, and then Lachlan's after that.
Yeah, we're going to have her on the locker room.
Well, it's what we share here, right?
That's right.
Lock, were you going to say something?
I'm the only one who gets.
I was just going to say, if I'm the only one, am I the only one that thinks that people that run are fucking insane? Like if you run, like there's something wrong with you, like mentally, like
I don't
you've
get
fallen
it
at some point. Yeah. Every time I pass somebody running on the side of the road, I look at their face to see if they're happy.
What are they running from?
Never.
That's what I wonder all the time.
Never
what's
happy.
that person running from out there?
You ever see a smile on that fucking that chick
like
jogging? No. Yeah. That's what they. Yeah.
Let's go for a jog and a cry.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Yeah. Anyway, guys, appreciate everybody being here. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you guys soon. There you go.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Anytime. Brad Hopper, Brenton on Tour, my man Lachlan Cross, my man Bonzi. Everybody was here today. That was fun, wasn't it? Got to meet the guys from the Zen as Fuck podcast as well. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, that's it for us. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. You can watch us on YouTube, Dean Blundell Show on YouTube, if you're listening to this on iTunes or wherever you get your fine audio podcasts. And you can also find us on Twitch TV. I think it's Dean Blundell TV on Twitch. Pretty sure. That's where you can interact with us. You can comment on the stuff that we're doing in real time, and we'll make you a star of Canada's #2 news podcast. News fucking kills me every time. #2. Wall Street Journal #1. And then the Israeli news right behind us. It's an honor. It really is. Anywho, have a great day. Thanks for being part of the show. Thanks to our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports, his Gitch or your Gitch. Make sure that you order from Ed if you're looking for underwear, fellas. It's luxury boxer briefs, pouch in the front, super breathable. The best luxury underwear on the planet. Boxer briefs, you'll dig them, and he'll send you an extra pair for free when you order 3. It's clothing for men and boys, including Ed's Gitch at edsfineimports.com, promo code GITCH3. Thank you to our friends over at Blue Microphones, the official microphone supplier and content tech supplier for DeanBlundell.com, including Logitech cameras. They are a Logitech group of companies, and not only are they cool with cameras, they're great with audio, including headphones, like these MoFi headphones, this USB mic. It's a Blue Yeti X. You'll love it. All the systems and the preamp is actually built into the mic, so there's no dicking around. Try them out today. Go and see what they have to offer. They got a ton of stuff. At Blue Mic on Twitter, online, and at Blue Microphones on Twitter. And our friends over at domination.com, making it easy for you to produce content. Super, super simple. All you got to do is go to dmntn.com. Try them for free today. Instead of wasting time cutting up promos, they do it for you. It's artificial intelligence for content providers. Go to domination.com, dmntn.com today and check them out. Also, our friends at Easy Auto Financial. Where's your credit rating? How is that after the pandemic? Not great? They don't care. Good credit, even better. They will make sure they get you a car and make it super easy for you to get one as well. It's all turnkey. My friends at easyautofinancial.ca want you to get in a vehicle. No obligation to go and visit them online. Sign up to figure everything out, and they'll figure it out for you. easyautofinancial.ca. Have a great day, everybody. Sign up for a newsletter at the podcast, DeanBlundell.com, and we'll see you tomorrow on this very program. Bye, everybody.